I'm Tori, and I recently got to go to England for 2 weeks. It was an amazing trip. We spent most of the time in Yorkshire, though we did go to London for a couple days, and it was just so beautiful. I loved seeing the English countryside. We visited some friends. It was just an amazing trip. I love England. It's such a beautiful place. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the charm and the quaintness. It was so beautiful. And so today I'm going to be showing you the books I bought on my trip, as well as a few other little things I picked up as well. So I watch a lot of British booktubers, especially Hannah Tay, and they're always doing these amazing charity shop book hauls, which is just so much fun. In America we have thrift stores that come in like big box ones like ARC or little tiny ones, but the charity shops were just so cute and quaint, and I was so happy I finally got to go in charity shops, and now I'm doing my own charity shop book haul. It was also really fun. Each charity shop is just named after the charity it goes to. So it'll just say RSPCA or Mind or anything like that. And so it was fun to just, every time I saw the name of a problem with humanity, I was so excited. I'm like, oh look, there's a charity shop, we can go in. For the most part, the charity shops were all pretty tiny, and they're just like very little neat thrift stores. Everything was amazingly clean and beautiful and well organized. Where I live, it's a bit of a hit or miss. Some thrift stores are really nice and other ones are fairly dirty and jumbled, but these were all beautiful and very tastefully decorated, and they were like little boutique shops kind of. And basically all of them had just one little shelf of books in a back corner, so I had fun going and exploring those. So the first books I picked up were Hemlock at the Vespers, volumes 1 and 2, written by Peter Tremaine. And the back of the book describes these as detective stories set in the 7th century. And that just sounded amazing. So you have all the fun, very ancient aesthetic, and you still have a detective story and a female detective who's wandering around solving mysteries. I wasn't quite sure. I think these might be a series of short stories, but that there are full-length books about the same detective. I'm not really sure, but I am very excited to read these. Next, I got the British edition of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and I was so excited about this. I adore Harry Potter, and this is actually my favorite Harry Potter book, and I've been wanting to get the English editions and read them, because I know they changed some things, because apparently Americans aren't quite smart enough to figure out the difference in some words from the United States to England, and so I'm very excited to actually get to read the British edition of my favorite Harry Potter book. Next, I have the books Labyrinth and Sepulchre by Kate Moss. I believe these are the first 2 books in a trilogy, and these seem really interesting. I actually started reading Labyrinth while I was on my trip, and I am now about halfway through, and I love it. My bookmark is my ticket to the Harriet Flower Show, where I got this fabulous hat, and it's just fun because it has the price of admission written in pounds on it, and I just think that's fun. It reminds me of England every time I use the bookmark. So this book is set in somewhere, I think, around the region of France, in Carcassonne A, and it bounces between 2005 with a protagonist named Alice, who has been working on an archaeological dig, and then 1209 with a protagonist named Alaise, who is working to protect a very important and ancient secret. And this is a lot of fun. I feel like it probably came out right around the time of the Da Vinci Code, when historic mysteries were really popular. And because the setting in 1209 is in an ancient castle, I was on my vacation in England, and I would tour ancient castles, and then before I went to sleep at night I would read this book where you see Alaise going through her life in the ancient castles, and that was just so much fun. The next book I got is called Pies and Prejudice in Search of the North, and this is about an Englishman who goes on a tour of the northern part of the UK. I'm not sure if that's just England or if that includes Scotland. And he is going from region to region and seeing if they live up to the stereotypes that exist for those regions. And because I'm from the US, I don't know what any of those stereotypes are. So this book sounded amazing to me because it's going to be a close look at all the different little British regions. And it seemed like the perfect book to get as a keepsake from my time in England. And finally, the last books I got at charity shops were Unseen Academicals and Nation by Terry Pratchett. I love Terry Pratchett. I am slowly savoring my way through the Discworld series. Those books are amazing. The ones I have, I've reread most of them several times. He is a hilarious writer, and so the second I saw Terry Pratchett books, I had to grab them, especially because he was a British author, and I got these in England. So Unseen Academicals is about Unseen University, which is an amazing magical academy that I always love reading about every time it pops up. And apparently they get the sport of football, what I would call soccer, and it's all about the hilarity that ensues with that. And then I don't know anything about this book, Nation. I'm not even sure if it is part of Discworld or not. Most of Terry Pratchett's novels are in the Discworld universe, but this one might not be, so it'll be interesting to see. I got lots of other fun things at charity shops too. I got this beautiful little necklace, and I got this very pretty floral scarf, which was just so sunny, and it matches my hat perfectly. And then this was at an antique store, not a charity shop. But this is a beautiful little brass bell that's shaped like a peasant girl. She's got her little bonnet and her basket, and I love how giant her skirt is. I just thought she was so pretty. So now I'm going to show you the books I picked up at the various places I visited. So the friend that I spent the most time visiting in England used to work at a place called Temple Newsome. It is this beautiful old house that's kind of reminiscent of Downton Abbey. You know, it's a big, grand house that has this long, very interesting history. And so while I was there, I got Tales from the Big House, Temple Newsome. So this is just stories about all the different people who live there. And that was so exciting because she worked at that house and she met her husband at that house. They both worked there and knew all the different things about it. And so it was really fun to not only get to tour the house, but then I get all these stories to read about it when I get home. And they had an exhibition going on there that was Fantastical Beasts, and it just talked about all the different artwork and sculpture and things that were different mythological animals throughout the house. And so I got this little pamphlet on it. And then I also bought a stuffed dragon, because you can never have enough stuffed dragons. We also went to the Royal Armouries in Leeds, which is a beautiful museum that has weapons and armor from around the world throughout history. It's gorgeous. And so I got this little booklet about it. It has a picture of the most complete set of elephant armor in the world. And so that's what's on the cover here. And I had so much fun seeing just all the ancient armor and all the beautiful weapons that were made. They were such gorgeous craftsmanship. And the friend I was visiting thought I needed a souvenir of my time in England, so she got me this beautiful letter opener. It is a replica of the writhen hilt sword, which is this beautiful ancient long sword, and it's got this beautiful twisty thing that looks like branches up here at the hilt, and I just thought it was so beautiful. And so this is a gorgeous letter opener. We also went to Skipton Castle, which was a beautiful old castle that had a great guide system. It had like this little coloring page that led you through all the different rooms and gave you a tour of it, and you could see how it had been renovated over the centuries. And I got this nice little booklet about it that just kind of talks about some of the main features and shows different pictures of it and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then I also got this little replica of a Tudor era spoon, and I just thought that was very fun. It's a very flat little spoon, so it's more like a shovel really. It'd be difficult to eat soup with it, but I thought it was very fun. And then we also went to the Sherwood Forest. So I didn't get any books there, but I did get this beautiful handcrafted eating knife and prick set. And so I guess what you would do is you didn't really have forks. You just kind of stabbed your food with this, and then you would kind of cut it up with this. And so the guy I bought it from was a leather maker. He carved his little symbol right there. I think he was called the Forest Archer. And it was just so much fun. He was making leather things right there and just had his whole little workshop set up right there on the edge of Sherwood Forest, which was absolutely beautiful. I had so much fun walking around. It was this gorgeous green forest. I'm not a huge fan of pine trees, and this one was all just beautiful light green trees. It was springtime. It was so pretty, and it felt so magical. They had wanted posters for Robin Hood and his merry men around. They had this great jungle gym for kids to play on. They had a gorgeous visitor center, and then just walking around the forest was so much fun. It made me feel like Maid Marian. So those are all of my books and souvenirs from my time in England. It was an amazing trip, and I'm so glad that I got to go.